Welcome back to the Time Capsule Podcast, where your family history becomes your greatest legacy. I'm your host, Barbara Beauregard, and today's episode is one I think will relieve a lot of pressure and encourage you to keep going, even on your busiest days. Because today, we're talking about how you can make real, meaningful progress in your family history in as little as 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes. That's shorter than a commercial break, shorter than waiting for your coffee to brew, shorter than scrolling through Facebook or checking your email, and yet, those 5 minutes, used intentionally, can transform your entire sense of momentum in your genealogy work. Why we get stuck. A lot of people imagine genealogy as something that requires big open weekends, stacks of paper everywhere, deep concentration, and hours on ancestry or family search. But for most of us, life doesn't give us those long stretches very often. And here's what happens. Because we feel like we need a lot of time, we end up doing nothing. We think, someday I'll organize everything. Someday I'll write those stories down. Someday I'll finally go through those boxes, but someday rarely arrives, and that's where we get stuck. Not because genealogy is too hard, but because we feel like we must do it perfectly or not at all. So today, I want to help you shift your mindset. Instead of thinking in terms of big projects, think in terms of small, powerful habits. 5 minutes at a time. Why small habits matter. Small habits remove pressure. Small habits create momentum. Small habits accumulate into something unexpectedly meaningful. Think about this. If you do one 5-minute task every day for a month, that's 150 minutes, 2.5 hours of real progress without ever feeling overwhelmed. In 2.5 hours, you can preserve a surprising amount of history. So let's talk about 5 simple things you can do in just 5 minutes and why each one matters. Habit 1. Label one photo. This is one of the most valuable things you can do. Pick a photo, any photo. Maybe it's one on your phone from 20 years ago. Maybe it's a printed picture tucked in a shoebox. Write down who is in it, where it was taken, if you know, approximately when, and one sentence about what's happening or why it mattered. That's it. This tiny action could be the difference between a cherished story and a total mystery for future generations. I've seen too many boxes of photos where nobody knows who anyone is. Labeling one photo a day can literally save an entire generation of memories. Habit 2. Capture one memory. Your memories are part of your legacy, and they don't need to be long to be meaningful. Write down a smell you remember from childhood, a sound that reminds you of home, a place you loved, a tradition, a moment with a parent or grandparent. The more specific you are, the more vivid that memory becomes for the future. And here's the beauty of this habit. Each 5-minute memory becomes a little snapshot in time, and those snapshots eventually turn into a story collection. Habit 3. Save one document where it belongs. This habit creates order without requiring full organization. Choose one item: a birth certificate, a census record, an obituary, a letter, a baptism record, a school photo, and give it a home. Place it in a clearly labeled binder, a digital folder, your genealogy software. You do not need to fix the whole filing system today. You just need to keep one item from disappearing into a pile. Over time, this builds a structure, one page at a time. Habit 4. Record a short voice note. This is one of my favorites because it captures something writing cannot: your voice. Open the voice recorder on your phone and speak for 30 seconds. Tell a story, describe a memory, or ask a family member to share one. 30 seconds of someone's voice can become priceless later. The tone, the laugh, the emotion, even the way they pause or say certain words becomes a gift. Habit 5. Back up. One small set of files. Preservation is more than collecting, it's protecting. Choose one folder of photos, one group of documents, one set of recordings, and back them up to an external hard drive, to Google Drive, to Dropbox, or another cloud service. These tiny backups build a safety net over time. Your future family will thank you for taking this step. Why 5 minutes works. Here's the real magic. When something takes only 5 minutes, you're far more likely to actually do it. And once you do, you feel a sense of progress. That progress builds confidence, and that confidence keeps you moving. Genealogy becomes something you can do, even on your busiest days. You don't have to wait for inspiration. You don't have to wait for a long weekend. You don't have to wait for someday. Your legacy is built in tiny, consistent steps. Your action step. Choose one habit today, just one. Label one photo, capture one memory, save one document, record one voice note, back up one set of files. That's it. 5 minutes is short enough to fit anywhere, but long enough to protect something valuable. And someday, maybe sooner than you think, you'll look back and realize those tiny steps added up to something big. Thank you for listening to the Time Capsule Podcast. For free guides, mini webinars, and legacy tools, visit ancestryseeking.com. Your legacy begins today.